We are preparing to go to live, Facebook Live. And it looks like we are live on our Facebook Expert VA community. Hey, how's everybody doing this afternoon? We've got an interview today. Well, I have an interview that you get to watch with the beautiful Jeana Deshazer. You guys, do you ever look at these interviews that I do and say, hey, these people Kathy's interviewing all look like movie stars, and Kathy looks like she's in her PJs again without her hair done again, because that is how I live. You know, it's the real me. And you know what? It's also the real people I'm interviewing. They do look this beautiful. So, hi, Jeana Deshazer.
Hi. I'm only dressed from the top up. I have shorts on. So
now you have to stand up and show us.
Okay, I have shorts on. Can you see? All right.
Look at those legs. Woohoo! Woo! Thanks for showing those to us. And I asked her when we got started, every time Jeana and I talk, I feel like she's in a brand new house, her home. Doesn't it look beautiful? This is her actual home. And she said, today you're in what, your dining room?
I'm in my dining room temporarily while my office gets remodeled. Yes.
Yeah, so she basically lives in a good housekeeping home.
Oh, no. I just made it look that way right behind me.
Well, it is beautiful. And your hair always looks so wonderful, spiky. I love it so much.
Thank you.
So Jeana has been coaching privately with me for a year. We just had our 1-year anniversary. So I'm super excited to interview her here today. And Jeana, let's start by you sharing your story of how you got started, why you decided to become a VA, and how long you've been a VA.
Okay, yeah, sure. I was a college professor for like 12 years, and it was just a part-time thing. And so I did some work on the side, and I had well, she's a friend now, but I had a lady that I had an acquaintance with, and she'd called me off and on to do work for her. Then one day I saw on her Facebook, she was asking for someone to help, and she's local. And I messaged her and I was like, hello, you've been talking to me for, off and on for a couple of years. Why didn't you call me? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes. So anyway, I ended up working for her, and I went to her house. And so it was just another part-time thing. And while I was talking to her, working with her, she used VAs. And it was kind of like a whole new, I had never really, you hear about people working from home, but usually there's these little scammy, callers, network marketers and stuff like that, and so
right.
And she talked about using, I think at the time it was Elance, and now they've went together with Upwork, and I got to thinking, oh, well, that's interesting. I could probably do that too, along with her, because then the teaching thing kind of went south, and so they kind of combined a bunch of departments and didn't need part-timers anymore. So anyway. So, and then after a couple of years with her, we kind of outgrew each other. And so I just transitioned to total VA business. And first of all, through Elance, got my work that way, and then just referrals from good clients there, and it just began to grow. And so I've been doing it for 3-4 years now. So, and then a year ago, I found you.
You kind of accidentally fell into it. It sounds like that's kind of how I did it in the beginning.
I always wanted. I was a stay-at-home mom always, but I always had that desire to do something to help the family out, And so I got to tell you, I don't know, 25 years ago, I was working on computers in my home. I was building and repairing computers. I love the technology. I'm just kind of a little nerdy geek that way. And computers were just kind of getting started, and people would go, oh man, this is wrong with my computer. And I go, oh, I can fix it. And then I'd start figuring it out. You know what I mean? And so from that, I ended up getting a contract with the local school, and I was their IT person for years. And we had a local computer business for like 6 years, brick and mortar in our small town. And then and then Dell came out with their $200 computers, and then all the home business people like that were building computers kind of went out of business. So So anyway, and from there, then I went back to school, got my bachelor's and my master's degree in marketing. And so from there, I just kind of was like, okay, now what? So I'm not a sitter.
When you taught at college, what did you teach?
I taught technology. I taught Office, like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. I taught web design, Photoshop, marketing, just anything they needed help with. So.
Well, this was just a natural transition for you into being a VA then. I mean, you've been on this trajectory for basically your whole life almost.
25 years. Well, that's not my whole life. 25 years is about not even half my life. I mean, it's less than half my life. But yeah, I've always enjoyed doing this, excuse me, and having the freedom to be with my kids while they were growing up and now my grandkids. So, of which I have 7 beautiful grandkids. So,
and you guys, if you don't follow Jeana personally on Facebook, highly recommend doing so you can see these pictures of her and her grandkids. Oh my gosh, she's got the cutest grandkids and the cutest pictures of all the things they do.
Well, I think so, but yes.
You do. They're really, this is coming from another grandma who also has cute grandkids. Your grandkids are really, really cute.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it. And part of the other reason I do this, because at the time I had a son who moved all the time with his business. Hallelujah. He has been in this area for the past year, and we're hoping for a whole lot longer, but we don't know. His company moves him a lot. But I was able then to just take my laptop with me and go visit and stay with the kids while they went on trips or whatever and left me with the kids, and I could still work. So it's just amazing how VA work is so versatile. And I could play with the kids, put them down for a nap, get a couple hours of work in, put them to bed, work in the evenings. You could just do whatever fits your schedule. The best thing in the world.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Well, you've already answered my question on what you like the best about working as a VA. It's that incredible flexibility.
Yeah, and I could go on that. I mean, it's the best thing. And I don't know if you're going to ask me these questions or not, but I'm going to go on into this.
Go ahead, jump in.
And what I found, and through working with Kathy, is I think the best thing that you can do as a VA is to specialize in something. When I started, I was I don't want to say just an admin because that's very important work, but I did anything for anybody just to get my business going. I felt like I had to, even if I hated the work, even if I hated the monotonous deal, I was just like, oh yeah, I just got to do it. And then over time, it's like, no, I don't have to do that. I have got to figure out, and because of my varied background, I have a large well of things I can draw from. But I had to really get serious and with myself and say, what do I love doing? What do I really love doing? And what I love doing, how is that going to help somebody? Find out what people need and what you love doing and marry those two together. And then that makes the best thing ever.
Yeah, and it makes it a lot easier to market your business, to get clients that you love when you have those two things working together.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And, Jeana, you mentioned something that I find really interesting. I've been doing this since 2001 and helping women like you grow their businesses since 2008. And a lot of people who come to me think that because they don't know a lot about technology yet, and they don't have a lot of online type of skills, that they're going to have more challenges than people like you who have tons of skills. But what I found is just the opposite is true, because people like you, Jeana, who know so much, it is more difficult to narrow down and figure out what you really want to do and who you really want to help, because you really can do just about everything.
Right.
And that's what you were experiencing as one of your big challenges.
It was. And I've fought it with you this entire year. Finally about 2 months ago, it was just like, all right, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. I'm like, dude, I didn't waste 10 months with you, but I could have been.
It felt like it because you're going back and forth.
Oh,
and that's the other thing, Jeana, that people don't realize is sometimes they want to say, well, I don't know what I want to specialize in yet, so I can't specialize. Well, here's the deal. If you go ahead and specialize in something, you'll be able to figure out if you like that or not. And if you don't, then you can change. But if you never specialize, if you're just all over the place, it's really difficult to figure out what you really like to do. And that's what you've been doing these past 10 months, is kind of experimenting with different things to specialize in, experimenting with different types of people to work with. And now you figured out what it is you really want to specialize in. So why don't you talk about that? What are you specializing in, and who are you working with?
Yeah, well, I work with entrepreneurs or anyone that's trying to get their business online and who are overwhelmed and confused by that technology piece, because getting your business online and marketing it the correct way is different. It is difficult. It is technology. And I find I work with a lot of coaches and consultants who their mindset is this, and it's not technology, and it just overwhelms them. And
Right.
I get that because even understanding the technology, I too get overwhelmed because there's so much out there. And it's like every day, it's like the shiny object syndrome. It's every day. It's like, oh, what's this now? Oh, this is now. What's the next big thing? And you just have to stop. And it's hard. It's hard because I am a webinar junkie. I'm just a perpetual learner. I want to learn. I want to be on the cutting edge of everything. And so I'm continually listening. And there's sometimes I just have to go, no, you cannot listen to another thing. You've got to put to work. And I preach this to my clients. I just preached it to one the other day. This is time just to be still and just take what you know. Stop listening. Stop going to others. Let's just take what we know works and let's just put it in practice. And that's so hard because we have this wonderful thing called the internet and Facebook and all of that. And so we're continually bombarded with these people, and they're making these big claims that they're setting out in their Teslas and all this kind of stuff, with, claiming they're making this big money. And I'm telling you, people, you cannot believe what you see.
Yeah, if they say you're going to make $10,000 in 10 days, not unless you have $1 million to throw at it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And they put those titles out there to catch you. And, I find it hard sometimes when people ask what I do. That's why I kind of like saying it differently, because when you say marketing, what's the first thing people think? Oh my gosh, they're just, going to take my money, or they're just, they're all, what do they call them? Snake oil salesmen and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, even in the marketing aspect, there's so many different areas. And so I have found the part that I love the best is the funnel. So I said this word to you the other day and you liked it. A funnel architect is like a word.
Funnel architect, that's you, an FA.
FA instead of a VA or a VFA, a virtual funnel architect.
Oh, I like it. I like that.
Anyway, so and what I do is I will talk to a client and I will find out what they've done so far, where they want to go, what's worked, what hasn't worked. We kind of look at everything as a whole. Give me your end result. Is it a webinar you're trying to drive people to? Is it a call? Is it a course or whatever? And then we'll kind of go backwards. Okay, so how are we going to get here? So we go from here and kind of build it backwards.
Right.
And that, people think of a funnel just being a bunch of emails, and it's not. To me, a funnel is kind of almost your entire marketing plan for that project.
Right.
It's like a project, blueprint. And so then we map it out, and I love doing that. I love the technical, well, it's not really technical, but just it takes me back to my computer days of the if this, then that, if they answer this email, then what are they going to do? And if they don't, what are you going to do? It's like a big, huge flow chart, And so anyway, I love that aspect. And so, I like doing it with them. I don't like just going, okay, tell me what you want, and I'll come back with to you in a month, and we'll have it all ready to go. I want to be with that client. I think relationship and communication is a huge part of our client relationships. I think I don't think we need to become best friends with all of our clients, but being able to communicate with them and know them helps me understand what it is they really want to do and who they really want to serve and what their voice is. If you don't know somebody, I don't think you can really help them too much. That's just me and the thing that I do. I'm not saying you can't in other things, but I think you really have to spend a little bit of time talking to them.
Oh, absolutely.
And hear their hearts. Sometimes they say things that they, just in casual conversation because they get nervous on those discovery calls or strategy sessions, whatever it is you want to call them. And they, so the more you talk to them and just kind of get them to relax, then you'll hear things. And okay, I heard you say this. Is this really what you want to do? Or you're contradicting yourself. Let's go further and find out what it is you want to do. So there's a lot of that in what I do. But yeah, I take over that technology piece. So once we figure out what we're going to do, then I implement it. There's so many people out there that just tell you what to do, and they don't tell you how to do it. So I said one time I like to be the how to the what, so that people are, not so overwhelmed by it. I take that technology piece and I make all those things connect. I make their Infusionsoft or their MailChimp or ActiveCampaign talk to their lead page or whatever. I make sure they all connect. I make sure they work. And so anyway, so that's what I do.
That's fabulous, and it is much needed because I am, I am one of those people that I have finally decided what systems to use, which that's a big thing right there that you can help people with. It's just helping them figure out which systems to use. But I don't know how to make them all talk to each other, and so I have VAs who do that for me. And Jeana, another thing that you mentioned that I want to pull out of all that great information that you just shared, which is working as a virtual assistant, you really build a very strong relationship with your clients.
Do I? Is that what you said? Or I do?
VA, you have to.
Oh, yes, you do. Because you don't have
just like you said.
You don't have that every day in the office kind of a deal,
Right.
And so you have to communicate. You have to do that. Like I said, I mean, I've got old clients that I still connect with occasionally. Hey, how you doing? How's your business? What's going on? Kind of a deal.
Right.
And so, and I like that. I don't like having, breaking off from clients and not speaking to them again, because I do care about them.
Right. You become friends. You become colleagues. Even though you've never met them necessarily. Now I know you've met several of your clients because you actually help them with live events.
I have. I've had the honor and the pleasure. It's awesome when you get to meet them face to face. I had a client in California who put on several events, and she brought me out to help. And it was just amazing to get to meet her in person. And then she had hooked me up with other people in her circle, and they were at some of these events. So I got to meet them. And then one who has become just an awesome friend, I went and spent a week with her in Montana. She lives in Montana, beautiful Montana. I went and spent a week with her in the summer up there, and we spent time working on her business, and I did a bunch of video for her that we use now in her marketing and her landing pages, sales pages, emails, whatever. So I just went there and shot a ton of video, come back, started editing them and getting them what we need. So, and sat for 2 days on a whiteboard, just mapping out her blueprint, and that, I just love that. I love it. It's kind of like a VIP day with her. And so I love that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then there's me who, I don't like to travel. So I never met any of my clients. Once I moved here to the middle of nowhere, I never met my clients again. Now, when I started my VA business in 2001, I was in Kansas City, and I did meet, I was a real estate VA, and I met, I guess 7 of my clients then. Mm-hmm. But then once I moved here, I never met anybody else ever again. And I worked with people all over the U.S., from Boston to Florida to California to the state of Washington and everywhere in between. And I never met any of them live. But I always felt and still feel like they're my personal friends, because you really do get to know them very well. And you help them build their business, and they appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You become part of their team, you know. They
Really
talk
do.
about team and you're part of it even though you're not on site with them. You're part of their
Right.
team. You're part of their you know, I'm just part of their business. I'm a partner.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
one
It's a
calls
great word, a partner. That's really what you want to become as a VA.
although one calls me her partner in crime. I don't know if that's a good thing.
I like fun people like that.
Yes.
There's two of the things I want to mention that you brought up, and there are two of the four. I have a webinar called the 4 P's to Paid, and I did that for VAVS, the VA Virtuosos, and I also am getting ready to set it up as an evergreen webinar so people can watch it if you haven't already. And I'll put a link in here once that gets set up. But 4 P's to Paid, and two of those P's are be proactive and be a problem solver. And that's exactly, Jeana, what you were talking about and why you are a highly paid VA that is in demand, because you help people figure out what's the problem that they're trying to solve, right? That's what you were talking about when you have these conversations with them. What's their goal? What challenges are they running into in accomplishing that goal? And then how can you help them solve that problem?
Right.
And then the proactive part that you were talking about that you do is you don't just say, okay, what do you want me to do? Fill me in. You say, hey, here's now I know what your goals are. Now I know what your challenges are. Here's, let's do the whiteboard like you were talking about, so I can help you figure out what I can do to help you, or what other systems you need, or what other people you need on your team. So you're being proactive there in helping them figure all that out.
Right.
So congratulations on all that.
Well, thanks. I still can say, obviously I'm virtual, so I still consider myself a VA. And, VAs will always, no matter what I do, will always have a special place in my heart. I'm always wanting to help a VA, and I do talk to some of the people in our group, and I give ideas. I'm all about encouraging and helping, and I started a new program. I'll just get this in here real quick. I started a new program.
Yeah, please do, because we're going to get to that part sooner or later. So jump in there with the new program and any URLs you want to share too.
Yeah, and I'll put them in the link too. But
okay, great.
It's called Online Marketing SOS, and basically what I do is it's a workshop masterclass type of thing where I bring 5 to 6 people on at a time, and we work through each step together, as a group and individually also, of creating their funnel, from A to Z. I mean, from the landing page to the end product. And it's like 5 to 6 weeks. Each week we'll come together and learn something, and then you go away and do something and come back, and, I help them along the way and stuff. And at the end, they have a funnel that they can go put in place with their business. And then they could take that. It's one of those rinse and repeat things. When you get it right, it's done. It's right. And that's the cool thing about it, because then you can take it, change the verbiage, change, what the product is you're offering or service you're offering, and do it again. And so, because there's a lot of people that don't want to bring someone on, or they can't maybe afford to bring someone on like me all the time. And so I've made it a deal affordable so that they can go through it, learn it themselves, and then they're on their own if that's what they want to be. From there, a lot of times people will go, yeah, I get it now. I don't want to do it. Will you do it for me? And that's fine too. But my goal, because I love teaching, I got that in me from my background. I love teaching, and my goal is to help people understand it. I mean, because I had one client say, this is like a whole new language. It's like learning, Spanish or something.
It absolutely is a whole new language.
Lead pages and, a landing page, a sales page, an opt-in. And they're just like, what is all of that? And then email, sequences and campaigns. It's just like, and it's not that difficult once you get the verbiage and you understand it. Like I said, the lady I worked with this summer, after a day of sitting there and doing that, she was like, oh my gosh, I now get it. So now she can think in those steps. She can now think that way because she gets it. And so, this is something that VAs can use in their own business to promote their business. And it's also something, I think it's a good thing to have in your tool belt, to be able to talk to your clients and know, oh, you need this marketing funnel. You need to do this, this, and this. And so I'll put it in the link down there. It's onlinemarketingsos.net because .com was already taken. But, and so it just tells more about the program a little bit. And I would love to do a class with just VAs just to kind of teach them the verbiage and help them go through it so that they can then use it for their clients, you know, or if they don't want to, if they have a client, refer them to me and I'll, you know, we'll, you know, do a deal with them, you know, kind of a deal.
Yeah, so, yeah, absolutely.
There's a link on there that says, you know, if you want to know more about the next class, it's an email link. If they want to do that, that's fine. The prices on there are not the prices I would give my VA group. So don't worry about the prices there. I'd love to do a group of VAs just to go through the class and have them ask questions so that either help their business or help a client. So anyway.
Yeah, and this, what you're talking about is something that VAs can do for themselves to grow their businesses too.
Right. Yeah, because, you know.
And not, even if they don't want to do this work for clients, it will help them grow their own businesses. Well,
you know, if there's one thing I've learned, Kathy, over this last year, because I've had the ups and the downs of having too many clients, not enough clients, you know, the scary thought of, let me tell you guys what she did my very first time with her, is she told me I had to raise my prices because I was too cheap and I was so scared I was going to lose it. I was like, fine, I'm not even going to be able to afford you because they're all going to quit me. I was just like, really? I paid you to tell me what? And so, but I obeyed, and I honestly didn't lose anybody, you know? Now over the year, I have chosen to let some go because we weren't working in the same space that I wanted to work in. But I didn't lose any from upping my prices. So I know that's a scary, scary deal. Price is always a thing no one wants to talk about. And I just want to do the work. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that I've learned is that if it's something that you want to do, that you would do all day long or talk about all day long and never even care about the money and what you're getting paid, then that's where you should be working. And that's the way I am. I just want to do the work. I just want to help you grow your business. We'll talk about money later, you know, kind of a deal. And so that's another way.
And I think that's how a lot of VAs are, because most of us are women, and that's how most of us feel, is we just want to help people, and we don't want to talk about that money thing.
Yeah.
But your business is not a charity. If your business is a charity, then that's a different thing. But it's not. You need to make money.
Right.
And you want to be paid a fair wage. And guess what else happens? When you ask for a fair wage, when you ask for the going rate, for the value you're providing, you get higher quality clients.
Yes. That is true. I had a lady, you know, kind of go, oh man, are you sure? And I was like, yep, that's my prices. And she was like, well, okay, I just, you know, I'll have to get back, you know, I can't do that or something like that. And within about 2 weeks, she was emailing me going, okay, I need you to help me, you know?
Yeah.
And
they realize the value.
Yeah, you know, and that's just it's a hard, like you said, we're women and we like to learn chores, we want to help. And so that's probably the hardest part of my business. If I could have someone come in and do the sales for me and I just do the work, I would just be so happy. That is just not me. I just don't want to talk about it. Let's just give me the work. You know.
And you know what, Jeana? One of the other things that I wanted to mention that you've demonstrated here is that when you start out as a VA, that is just one starting point. That's where you're starting your business and you're learning how to get and keep clients, and you're learning what you want to offer as a service. But then once you get there and you begin growing your business, like yours has, Jeana, can develop from being a VA to being like what you're calling yourself now, a virtual funnel architect. Okay. Yeah, you still use the term VA too, but now you are a higher level with that virtual funnel architect. And that's when you can charge even higher prices.
Right.
And then you take it to the next step, which you have now, which is where you're doing something other than the work itself. You're training people, right?
Right.
Or you coach them, or you do consulting. So So the VA is the stepping point to whatever else you may develop along the way, and you don't even know yet what that may be. That may be when you're brand new, it may be a multi-VA team. You may be a consultant. You may be a coach. You may be a trainer. You may be all the above.
Now, let me give you a plug for your VA group. I mean, I have called on people in this group, and I have subbed out work to them. And this is such a great network of people. You know, even if you're not directly coaching with you, and just in this VA group, I mean, we're such a good network, and I want to use these people, you know, because I trust them. If they're in this group, I trust them. I trust that they're in here and they're doing good work, and so that's invaluable to have a group of people that I know I can call on for research or copy or things like that. I mean, and so it's like we all have a team within each other if we will just reach out and use each other like that. So it's just a great.
I appreciate that, Jeana. And that's really the reason I started Expert VA Training, was because I had built a business of 70 real estate agents that I was doing work for. And I was struggling to find VA subcontractors to do the work.
Right.
And so I was training them for free in the beginning just to get them to work for me. And then all of a sudden, I need to charge for this training.
Well, it's like you said, those things get revealed as you go along.
Right.
Grow.
Right.
And so, don't get stuck in that one thing. And if I could say anything, I think my biggest takeaway from everything that I'm trying to figure out in these last few months is to be yourself. Just like you. I mean, wearing your pajamas on Facebook Live, whatever you are, be who you are. And I think that is, I have told, and I have told you several times, I may have lost some clients because I am totally gut honest with them. I tell them, I don't do this and I do this. This is where my expertise is. I'm not going to just say I can do it to get your business, and so learn to be yourself. I heard this quote, and at first I didn't get it. I thought, and here lately it's just been resonating. I wake up thinking it, and it says, to be a voice and not an echo.
Oh, I love that.
Let that sink in for a little bit. Because at first I'm like,
powerful.
What do you mean? Well, here's what I have seen that it means. There's so many people out there. They call themselves experts. They're the gurus, like you say, and that's kind of what people are driving to. And then they get in there and they get disappointed. Well, I'm not going to even start out that way. I'm going to build my business differently. If I do a webinar, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes talking about myself. I'm going to get in there and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some value. I get so disappointed on some of these webinars. Honestly, I don't even show up to webinars till about 20 minutes in, because that's when they start. And that's so, we all don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that, and
right.
And so that's kind of what I've been thinking. Okay, be the voice. Don't be like everyone else. Don't echo someone else. If you are a video expert, or if you're this or that, be that and do it your way, because there are so many people out there that will resonate with you, because they are tired of the gurus. They're tired of the get rich quick. They're tired of the pictures of them on the beach and all that. When, I've seen too many on the other side. I've been VAs for those on the other side. I'm like, that is not what you are.
Yeah.
Something out here. I am who I am, and I am that anywhere I'm at. So that's my biggest.
I'm the same way. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. It's just who I am and what I am, and that's just the way it is. I'm not going to.
And you know what? That's another big perk of being a VA.
True.
You can really be who you are and not have to conform to that corporate environment where you have to dress like everybody else and sound like everybody else. Yeah, I love that, Jeana.
And I really think that when you are yourself, that draws people to you.
Well, it does both things. It pushes people away who are not right for you, which is a good thing. Sorry, my dog just jumped on me.
I just started to say, you might not get all the clients that you think that come to you, but that's all right. They're not your people.
That's right. You don't want it. Remember, my rule of thumb is you want 50% of the people you talk to say no to hiring you.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you are speaking your true voice. You are charging the rate you should be charging.
Right.
And I know that's hard for a lot of people to say, I got to get 50% no's, but those 50% yeses you get will be so much more powerful. They will value you so much more. You will get paid so much better. So, well, we're going to have to end here because this is my dog telling me it's time to go potty.
I get that.
Jeana, thank you so much. This is a fabulous interview. I really appreciate it. And if you will put the links to everything you want to put links to so people can learn more about you and your programs, I'd really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks. Bye, everybody. I'm sorry I'm having a hard time here. Stop.